Welcome to PayPod, the show that features thought-provoking interviews with leaders and entrepreneurs in the payments and financial technology industries. From credit card processing to Bitcoin, we cover it all. So if you want to know what's happening right now in the payments industry, stay tuned. Now, here's your host, Scott Hawksworth.
Hey, how's it going, PayPod listeners? Scott back here with you, and welcome to another great episode of PayPod, the Payments and Fintech Podcast. On this show, we simply love talking about payments, but the reality is, I think that sometimes our discussion focuses a bit too much on what's going on in payments in the United States. There's a whole world of payments out there, and every country has its own unique wrinkles, challenges, and opportunities in the payments industry. Today, we're going to be zeroing in our discussion on a country whose payments landscape ecosystem I'm eager to learn more about, India. Joining me to offer his unique insights is Nitya Sharma, co-founder and CEO of Simpl. Simpl is India's fastest growing buy now, pay later platform, which uses machine learning and AI to offer a quick, secure, and hassle-free payment experience to its users. So we have a co-founder of a company that's really at the heart of moving the payment experience in India forward. To me, that is the perfect guest for this topic. Let's dive right in. Nitya, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Scott, for having me. It's a pleasure and excited about our chat.
Absolutely. In today's show, as I said, we want to focus on the payments landscape in India specifically. It's a huge topic and there's a lot to cover with it. We may not get to it all, but I'm hoping we can start by having you help set the stage, I guess, for us. Nitya, could you start by telling us a little bit about your background and how it motivated you to launch Simpl and why the payments landscape is such an important thing to discuss? What's the size and real opportunity when it comes to payment services in India?
Yeah, absolutely. So my background is I grew up in India, spent about a decade in the United States where I went to college and ended up working on Wall Street in New York, first at Bear Stearns, then at Goldman Sachs, and then at a hedge fund. And around 2015, I was planning to be an entrepreneur on something slightly different. And I was spending time in India, and one thing led to another. And my bank in India rejected my credit card application for a very simple reason that in India, I would be considered what's called a thin file customer from a credit bureau point of view. And of course, in the US, I had my Amex Platinum card and spent 10 years on Wall Street. So I would be considered an upper middle class person, etc. And to me, that was interesting that none of that mattered. And just a credit score means everything when it comes to getting access to some of the basics of payments, right?
Sure.
So that was the first aha moment that led to a bunch of aha moments for me to start Simpl.
Absolutely. And when we're talking about sort of the opportunity that there is in payments in India, I mean, what's kind of the shape of that? What's the opportunity, the size, the scope when you think about bringing payment services to India?
When I stumbled into this real thing for myself where I did not get a credit card, it got me a little curious. And I just started looking into things. And I'll walk through what I saw, which is mind-boggling. So first thing I noticed was very few people in India have a credit card, even right now. So roughly 29 million unique people have a credit card compared to 500 million people with a smartphone connected to the internet and almost 850 million people with a bank account and a debit card. So you kind of like see that, right? So you see this interesting market where technology in some ways, which includes obviously mobile phone and internet, and of course banking, has reached pretty much every single Indian in the world. So you see that. The second thing that you see, which is again a very interesting juxtaposition, is commerce, consumer retail is moving very quickly to the mobile platform. So people are buying online and people are buying on the mobile phone, but 70% of all transactions are still done with what is called cash on delivery, which means you'll buy from some e-commerce retailer like an Amazon or even take an Uber ride or buy food online, etc. And you will, for the most part, 70% of times, exchange real cash at the point of delivery. That's one side. The other side is the financial services infrastructure. So not only people have bank accounts, but in India, what we have is what is called the India stack, which means a bunch of things. But the two most relevant things are there is a payment or settlement protocol called UPI. UPI stands for Unified Payment Interface, which, for the lack of better analogy, is like ACH in the US, except it's real time, 24/7, and does not cost any money, which means you can actually move money between bank accounts without any friction from a cost or time point of view. So you kind of see this very interesting market, which is it's a $1.3, $1.4 trillion consumer retail market, both online and offline. Most of it is cash. So you see this market, which is kind of like still a little stuck in the yesterday. And then there is a part of the country and the same people leapfrogging to the new world of ubiquitous internet connectivity on the smartphone, buying online, and still using cash, right? So naturally, that means it's a perfect storm to create something new. That's kind of like our vision is. And to answer your question of how big this is, currently it is said that India is a $300 billion digital payment market. And it is widely expected within the next 3 years, it'll be more than a $1 trillion digital payment market. So India, therefore, is by far the largest and the fastest growing payment market in the world.
So there's some opportunity there to sum it up. That's just incredible. And thank you for really breaking that down. We've established, okay, payments in India, it's crucial to talk about, and there is an opportunity there for organizations to have success. Can you tell me a bit more about who your typical customers are right now and why they use Simpl? Why does Simpl really kind of fit into this ecosystem so well?
Absolutely. So Scott, before I get into the customer, let me quickly define for your users what the exact product is.
Sure.
What Simpl is a product that allows consumers to buy anything on the internet with one click. So it's a one-click checkout, like Amazon one-click checkout. The consumer gets a pay later account, very much like American Express, such that they can do multiple such checkouts across all the online retailers that we work with, which is majority of them now. And they just get one bill once in 15 days so that they can pay later. And they get a host of standard buyer protection features like PayPal did in the US so that consumers build more trust in online commerce. They feel safer and they feel in control in online commerce. And therefore, we are playing a very important role in the growth of online commerce itself. So that's what our product is, and that's the problem we are solving. Our customer, we have two customers. We have retailers, online retailers.